so I'm back, and today to continue on the car figures, the car bots, we're going to take a look at the last car bot I own for the series of how are they holding up, and that's going to be Wheeljack here. So, you know, there he is from the back. You know, looks pretty good. He's got a lot of the bare plastic, but they kind of put a gloss finish on it, so it overall looks pretty good. He looks a little stumpy here in the waist, but that's actually more like true to the character. So, I don't really fault him too much on that. This particular figure does have a story that's very important to me. A friend of mine had purchased this from me, and we had not gotten a chance to get together so I can give it to him because he actually lived close, but unfortunately he passed away before I could. So this figure, you know, will always hold a place in my heart and collection as, you know, a reminder to make time for friends. You know, it's, you know, I wasn't able to make time to see my friend to get him this figure, and because of that, he never got it before he passed away. So, yeah. Past that note though, let's take a look at the figure. So he's got the shoulder cannon that just plugs into the side, much like Sideswipes does, and I believe it just plugs in. It does not fire. So that all works pretty well. He also does have this little pistol here. I can't remember if he came with tools or not. Alright, so yeah, pistol fits in there pretty good. Alright, let's look at him. So right off the bat, like Sideswipe, he's got this backpack that doesn't really tab in. It's got like a spring in there too, so it's kind of wonky. It doesn't bother me as much as Sideswipe because it's just this one little piece as opposed to like the entire backpack. I mean, it is the entire backpack still, but you know, it's not like the entire back. You know, it's yeah. But it does have a little bit of an issue staying in place where it's supposed to. He's got his little wings here. They fold up and down, and they also hinge as well, more for transformation, but they do work. Head, great head sculpt, great paint on there. He's got the nice blue eyes, the blackish paint, with all the silver around it. Does swivel all the way around, no issues there, and it does have a hinge, so you do get a pretty good up. So like if you pose him with your Dinobots, you could have him looking straight up at the Dinobots. That's pretty cool. Or you could have like Optimus here, like looking down at him, like, and you can't see Optimus looking down, but you know, it's a pretty good build there. Shoulders are on swivels, so they swivel all the way around. They get caught up on the wings there, but they do swivel. They hinge out to the side, thigh swivel, bends at the elbow, wrist swivels, fingers open and close, and yeah, just the one pin for the whole hand. So again, yeah, most of this is bare plastic, but it's got a glossier finish to it. Like up on the top, it looks fine, especially with like all the paint right here in the torso. But the waist here is pretty plain and just not great. Hips up to here, back to there. A little dust on them. Thigh swivels out to the side, or hinges out to the side, and then there's the thigh swivel. Bends at the knee. All of it works pretty well. The feet have a hinge that, you know, you can pretty much get any way you need to. And then it does have a pretty significant rocker, so you can get a pretty good pose out of him if you spend a little time and effort in it. And you can kind of extend the feet down if you want them to seem a little taller. So yeah, you've got some options with this guy. Both posability and display options. All in all, he works pretty well. It's a pretty good figure. My gripes would be like the backpack not actually tabbied in. It does, like I said, it doesn't bother me as much as other like Sideswipe did. But it is there. So it's just kind of like I wish something would lock in. Just something. Like, come on. And then this section here, when it comes to the paint, just seems very bland. But past that, I think he's a pretty solid figure. Here he is with the Prime, as we've already seen, and we can also toss in Sideswipe. And then the gun is a little bit more challenging to get in, but it does get in there, and he holds it like a champ. That is in there for good. And then the shoulder kit in there for you. So here he is with Sideswipe as well. Prowl. And we'll do skids. So yeah, I think in the end, I think this is another knock, maybe not out of the park, but it's definitely a home run for Hasbro on this one. I know they did a Wheeljack Plus repaint that has more paint on it and stuff like that, and I think a reissue of that or just a new release of him with some better paint to kind of break this up. And I think that's all this figure really would need. So if you're looking at picking him up, I do recommend him. I would definitely see if you could get the better painted version. With the Prowl, like, it doesn't matter. He's just fantastic however he is. And he's pretty good however he is, but not fantastic. I think, some better paint would definitely spruce him up a bit. So I'd say if you get him for a good price, or get the repainted one for a good price, and if you can't, then just any version will work. But yeah, he's pretty solid figure. I do recommend him. I do like him. I think he's pretty good. I'll give him an 8 out of 10. If you like, this was broken up a little bit better, and the backpack cleaned up, he'd probably be a 9 or a 10. But yeah, it's just like throughout the ages of the MP cars, you go from Sideswipe, he just does not hold up, in comparison to these other cars. I mean, these guys blow him out of the water. It's kind of shocking, like, how bad this guy is when he was at one point like one of the best MP figures out there. But it's just shocking to see how bad he got in comparison to these other two. Like he could be a little bit better, but he's pretty much top of the game. And like, if anybody were to release a new Prowl right now, I would pass on it just instantly. I would be like, no, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying Fans Toys Prowl. I'd be tempted at a Fans Toys Wheeljack, but I would jump at a Fans Toys Sideswipe. That's the best way to put it. Pass, jump, debate, jump. So yeah, I guess that's all I got for the Carbots.